Hi, I'm Kennedy Stastny, and I'm a student here at TWU studying health studies. And for my consumer health course, I've decided to record a video over the process of sending a loved one with a failing membrane into assisted living for extra care. And I've kind of split it up into like 3 different sections or categories into like how I would go about making this decision. And so let's just get into it. I really have been fortunate enough not to have had to make this decision, but unfortunate enough that I've had many experiences with grandparents inside assisted living facilities, and it was awful to say the least. Both my grandmothers who were put into assisted living were still mentally very sharp, however their bodies were just failing them. They had lived a very active lifestyle their entire lives, so when they were inside the facility it seemed as though they just kind of withered away, and they didn't, they were like ultimately just very upset and sad that they had to be there, but they needed 24-hour care, and my grandparents were not able to give that to them, and they were the ones who made that decision. They were my great-grandparents that got put into the facility, and it was just really hard on the entire family because it's just not the same if you want to do Christmas or any type of huge holiday like that. Either if you're able to check them out of the facility, you can do that, but if not, then you have to go there and kind of make your plans around that. And it's just kind of weird and just really sad and a burden on the family because you aren't used to seeing your grandparents like that. As my family started realizing that they needed to put my grandparents in the home, my great-grandparents in the home, there was a few things that they had to decide what was a big factor and what wasn't a big factor. And one of the biggest factors that I could say that my grandmother decided on was, is my great-grandmother comfortable? Is she comfortable around the people? Is she comfortable around the staff? Is she, does it feel like as much as you could say a home could feel in that situation? We would want the staff to treat my great-grandmother like we would treat her at home, and that's just really tough, and it takes a really special kind of person to make that happen. And that was probably the hardest part of the entire process, is just going through and come to that realization that your great-grandparents can't take care of themselves anymore, and you have to not necessarily take that independence away, but especially if their mind is still sharp, that they kind of come to that realization with you, and that's just really, really tough. But this module we're focusing more on like people with Alzheimer's or dementia, and so that would be just as tough, but it's just a different kind of situation. You would want to focus on like what can they do, like how significant is their Alzheimer's, what stage is it at, are they still able to be independent for the most part, but they just need that 24-hour kind of like a babysitter. And you don't want to say that to them because they would hate that, but where's their independence level? And so after you come to the realization that you need to put them in a facility and they need to go there for the care that they need every single day, that's your next step, is deciding like, is this facility going to give them the care that they need, but also the independence that they want? And that's a really hard find. And then the second part of like making a decision on what facility to go to would be, are there programs that are going to help your grandparents, mother, spouse? Are these programs going to help them maybe keep the Alzheimer's or the dementia at a level where they can keep their independence of what they want? And as everyone may know, or if you didn't know, Alzheimer's there's no cure for it, and your memory is going to go if you have that disease. It's just kind of like keeping it at a stage where you can manage it, and that's just the toughest part. And that again is where the really great helpful staff come into play. Are they going to help? Are they going to treat my great-grandparent, brother, spouse, mother, father? Are they going to treat them like I would treat them, or as close as you can get, because you love them like your mother, brother, spouse? But so once you've decided on that in the process, you really want it to like get them involved. So you know, make sure that they're as comfortable as they can be, because that's ultimately like the biggest, most important thing is like, are they comfortable? Are they going to feel like it's as much as home as it could be? And that is another, I mean, it's all tough, but that's another big one, is like, you don't want them to think that they're going to this place and, you know, we're putting them in this facility and we're never going to come visit them, or, you know, this is where they go to like die, and that's just really, really sad and just heartbreaking. So that brings me to my next point. You want all those things in the facility, but you also want somewhere where it's close to get to, and especially if you're, you know, close to whoever is going to go probably visit the most and be there the most, or you know, check in on them the most, that's where you want it to go. We actually had my great-grandmother on my maternal side. We had to put her into a home, and she was like 92, but she was still super sharp. She just couldn't, she needed help, you know, getting anywhere. She couldn't bathe herself. She couldn't even like make dinner, do anything. Her independence was very low just because her immobile, she was very immobile. So we wanted to bring her down to Texas because she lived in Missouri, and so we could visit her more and, you know, be there for her. But her other 5 kids decided that it was best that she stay in Missouri, and we never really got to see her a whole lot, and they never really went and saw her. So that's just like a decision that you're going to have to make with your entire family, and sometimes that's not the greatest choice because everybody else, you know, has their specific opinions and things about that. And so you would really want to involve, just especially if it's a parent and it's a great-grandparent and they have great-grandkids and a ton of extended family, you probably just want to involve the kids that are going to be making those decisions, and those are probably the people that you want. Now, if it's your spouse, it would be probably between your husband and your kids. Or if you're, you know, you are married but you are kind of in the same boat, then maybe you could go to the facility together. So then that was another thing, another characteristic of the facility that you would want is, are they going to let us stay in the same room? Are they going to accommodate me and my spouse together? And usually they're pretty good about that. I know the home that we put my grandmother in, there was lots of married couples that lived together, and so that's another decision that you would have to make. And there's a couple things that you want to make sure are safe at the facility. I would say a big thing, especially in failing memory and Alzheimer's dementia, is the location. Is it in a safe place, in a safe area? Is it gated? Because sometimes, as you may know, people with Alzheimer's and dementia, they try to leave, or they don't know, you know, sometimes they don't know where they're at and they want to get back home. And so you don't want your loved one running out into the highway. So that's a big deal. Are the doctors, nurses, you know, even down to like the janitor in the facility, are they safe, nice people? And that is the ultimate thing. You want your loved one to be as comfortable as possible, and you want them to get the best care that they need. And even though they're not necessarily going to be cured, you want their disease and their independence, you want their independence, you know, at an all-time high, and the disease kept at bay. So those are really the things that you look at. And this is like a short 9-minute video, and I tried to get everything that I had in my script into this video. But I feel like I left some things out. So I'll just go over the key points one more time. You want care, love, and affection from the people that are going to be with them 24/7. You want safety, programs, and you want your loved ones to be as social as they can be. And then above everything else, you want your loved one that is going to be living in this facility to be as comfortable and to make it just feel so much at home. You know, I know it's not going to feel like their home because it's not. And that's another thing that you need to come to realization of. It's never going to be their home. And so you just want it to feel and be as much of a home as it can be. That is my consumer health project for module, and I hope this helps somebody out.